Gotta stretch.
3 hours later, it was like 77, 80. After that, it started to rain.
There we go. I thought that. I'm looking at it. I thought that looked a little too tight. It was zoomed in. I was like, how's everybody doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Happy Monday. Monday, January 26th. Boy, what a weekend it was, huh? Lots of fun, right? Still hundreds of thousands without power, mostly across the deep south with the ice storm. Many areas, the snow was, 6 to 18 inches, depending on your location, from Texas all the way up to Boston. And it was a walloping. It was an absolute walloping, just as predicted. A lot of freezing rain. We talked about the different kinds of ice. You get the sleet pellets, the sleet that falls, the ice pellets that fall, and then you get just the straight up rain that falls, and it's liquid until it hits the ground, and then it glazes over and everything turns into a sheet of ice. That's the freezing rain. So, some of the, some of the printouts with the sleet were just incredible. We were showing, well, at least the modeling was showing 3 to 4 inches of sleet on top of the 7 to 10 inches of snow in the Philadelphia area. And then farther south, I think Baltimore got 10 inches of snow, and then they went over to the sleet. And then D.C., I just saw live images on the national news, and D.C. looks like a winter wonderland. I'm not sure the last time they got as much snow as they did. New York, Boston, Providence, everybody. It was just, and like I said, there's hundreds of thousands without power right now. And the problem is all that Arctic air. It's going nowhere. If anything, it's going to get even colder. As a matter of fact, that's what I wanted to do while I'm waiting for everybody to jump on here. Let me load up the cold. It's mind-boggling. We were just looking at this, and there's the possibility that we could have wind chills in West Palm Beach the morning of Sunday, so this upcoming Sunday, of 20 degrees. Imagine if you're down here on vacation and all of a sudden you wake up Sunday morning and the wind chill is 20 degrees. That's how impressive this Arctic air mass is. It's not going to leave anybody out. Everybody's going to get involved this time around. Let me go to this real quick. Load this puppy up. It's got a high of 51. A high of 51 now in West Palm Beach. Oh. You gotta be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Let's do MIA. Let's do Miami, because that's about as far, other than Key West. Do you know the 3-letter station identifier for Key West?
EYW?
Is it EYW?
Try it.
All right, let's do... All right, Miami on Sunday, 55 for the high. You said EYW?
Try it.
Key West, EYW.
Okay.
Oh, it's got 59 for the high in Key West this upcoming Sunday. Oh my gosh. It just shows, let me do Philly real quick, and I'll show you all this in a minute, but this is just...
You're having way too much fun with this.
It's got... I shouldn't laugh, but I don't remember ever seeing these numbers, at least not in a long, long time. This Sunday, it's actually got 25 in Philly, but Friday, it's got a high of 11. 11. Let's do JFK. Let's just... I'm just waiting for everybody. It's 7:30 now. I'm just waiting for everybody to get on here so we can talk about the incoming snowstorm. JFK 15 on Friday. Let's do ORD, which is Chicago O'Hare, a high of 5 on Friday. And now let's do my last one here. My favorite vacation place, Lake Placid, the Saranac Lake area, Friday afternoon, a high of -2. A low, you ready for this?
No.
-17.
Oh.
-17. Oh. That doesn't even take into account the wind, because there's going to be wind up there.
That's too cold for polar bears.
That's just too cold in general. Boston 16 for the high on Friday. Oh my gosh. Woo. It's some brutal stuff. Fortunately, the weekend storm worked out as advertised. The numbers that I put up, expected snowfall in South Jersey, the Lehigh Valley, Philly. I almost nailed them to the T. So I feel very good with what I put out. And a lot of, a lot of forecasters did well. I know Cecily did well. We were talking earlier. A lot of the forecasts I saw looked like they did pretty well with the storm. I mean, I even nailed the timing on when it was going to change over to ice by the hour. So thankfully it all worked out. Now this one, though, this one's going to be a little more complicated, okay? Complicated because we're watching the signal with this storm is actually more impressive than the one that just hit, okay? But the difference is the one that just hit, it was all the way out in Texas, all right? It was developing there, and then it traveled across the lower 48. We had eyes on it, okay? This is different. This is going to be a developing low, so it's not even there yet, okay? So what we have to try and figure out is, one, where does it develop? And two, when it develops, what influence kind of moves it more than anything else? You know, is it going to, you know, does it become I know this is going to be mumbo jumbo to you, but is it a closed low that develops over maybe North Carolina, running this thing right up the coast? Or is there going to be sort of like a billiards effect where one of the upper level pieces bumps the developing low off the coast and out to sea? This is completely different, all right? So let's, let me show you what looks like we got a good audience now. It's 7:33. Let's get into it. And then I'm going to show you these ridiculously cold Florida temperatures, and they are just that, ridiculous. But what I want to show you here, basically in short, is this, okay? This is what it all comes down to, okay? That low is going to develop. It might even develop actually down here somewhere. It gets to a position like this, and then where does it go? You can clearly see, this is the latest run on the model. It has 12.5 inches of snow in Wilmington, North Carolina. Do you know how far south that is for that kind of snow? 8 inches in Hatteras. This is current. The numbers aren't going to verify, not like this. But the point of this is to show you the sheer power and impact of this potential storm, okay? Because as this runs up the coast, what's going to happen? Let's assume for a second, okay? But stay with me here. Let's assume for a second this scenario is correct, okay? Remember, the winds blow counterclockwise. So this is constantly pulling in moisture. As this thing gets going, you are pulling in Atlantic moisture into this frigid Arctic air. This could end up being doubled, okay, if it comes up. All right, but we're getting way ahead of ourselves. Let me show you some of the upper level pieces. And again, hold on real quick. I'm not saying this scenario will play out, okay? I just want to make sure I'm clear. What I'm saying is these are the two scenarios that are going to end up being what we watch over the next couple of days, okay? It's either up and out or it's up and slams, okay? So that's what we're going to be watching. So what's going to happen here is you've got so much Arctic air. We were talking about this last week. There's so much Arctic air up here, okay? And Arctic air is pretty much fuel, all right, on a fire. So when it comes to winter storms, there's a lot of upper level energy here. And what this is going to do, all right, this is what the modeling showed earlier. See it coming down? See this? Running right down. This is just frigid, Arctic, frigid. Okay, it's going to come running down, southern branch of the jet, northern branch of the jet. Bang, we're going to get the phasing. All right, see it? See everything coming together here? That's what we call phasing, okay? Northern branch, let me back it up real quick. All right, so here it is. Here's the southern branch. Here comes the northern branch over the top. It's actually retrograding. See it coming down? Bang, everything comes together right there, or phases. All right, so that right there is scenario one, or you get this. Everything phases farther out. Okay, it's subtle. But do you see the difference? Everything phases here and goes, they phase in the same spot, but this pushes out. See how it goes out and not up? Let me show you that again. They both do the same. They phase. You get a closed low right here. But then instead of this thing coming up, it goes whoop, out. Like that. This one, it's actually similar. So so I don't confuse you guys. Watch the difference between the two. This was the one coming up. I'm sorry, this was the one coming out. See it? It's big. It's a massive storm. Look at all those lines. Those are lines of equal pressure. Those are winds probably humming at 40, 50 miles per hour. I mean, that's a massive wind field. All right, so here it comes. There's the out scenario. And then here's the hit. Look at this. So you get the idea? All right, so this has got to be put out there, okay? People need time, to get ready for the potential for something like this. Now, it does not mean this would be, and I'm going to tell you right now, if this scenario were to play out, this would be way heavier than the storm you just got. Okay, and I'm not even kidding. So there it is right there. I mean, this right here, you're probably looking at 3 to 4 inch an hour snowfall rates if this were to verify, which again, I'm not saying it does. All right, this might not even come close to verifying. It could be this. It could be this one here. All right, so you got scenario 1 out. Scenario 2 is a home run for snow lovers. Just immense what the second scenario is. Okay, so for that, let's go over. That's in short what we're watching. They both agree that the two jet streams are going to phase. You're going to get a closed low somewhere over the eastern Tennessee Valley, western North Carolina. And then what happens? Does it go out or does it come up? I mean, it's that simple. That's all it is. The fine details, you can't really get into all of that yet because you're talking about a storm that's going to hit probably on Sunday or Sunday into Monday. It's just too far out. So what we should do at this point is we want to look at the ensemble guidance. Remember what the ensemble guidance is. It's taking 50 different runs, okay? Each run initializes just a little bit different than the other run. And then you take it, because that'll give it a different solution, all right? And then you take the blend. And that usually gives you a good idea of what the overall thinking is at the moment. So here's a look at that blend, okay? This is massive high pressure right here, Arctic high pressure. This is unbelievably cold air right here. Goes all the way like this. This is basically everybody in the country is frigid except for extreme Southern California. And even these guys down here are way below seasonal averages. All right, so this is Saturday, all right? 7 o'clock in the morning. Watch down here. Energy comes like this. Watch the L's start popping. Ready? Each L represents a possible position of low pressure, 5 o'clock Saturday morning. All right? That's 7 o'clock in the morning. Each L represents where this low might be. When the L's are bunched up together like this, that means those members are in good agreement. You can see we got a couple down here. We got a couple up here. We got a pretty good cluster here off the coast of Wilmington, North Carolina. All right, now at 10 o'clock in the morning on this upcoming Saturday, they are widely spread out. Okay, do you see them? A couple of positions might be way out here. You still got a pretty good cluster right off the coast of Hatteras. There's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Look at them all. But again, what's interesting here, see this? What's interesting is the model comes up, the ensemble comes up. See that? See how it comes up? So we've got, look at this. If you don't like snow, that's a nightmare. That's an absolute nightmare. Every one of them comes up. Look at them. And then it goes out. Okay. That's a monster storm, okay? So again, we're gonna keep, this is the way to go for now, okay? We need more data to come in. It's either up or it's up and out, okay? The up and out does this. The up will double this. The up will absolutely double this, okay? That's why this needs to be watched. So think about this for a second. All right, you have how much snow on the ground right now? You have all this snow on the ground, all right? Snow and sleet, All right, somewhere between 7 and 10 inches up and down the I-95 corridor, about 13 to 15 in the Lehigh Valley, and over 17 in the Poconos. Baltimore's got 10, DC, you've got 7 or 8, New York City's got 14, Boston's got 15, you get the idea. So you got all this snow on the ground, and now you're talking frigid temperatures all week. I don't even know if some of these major cities are getting out of the teens this week. You know, maybe teens, low 20s. That's it. So nothing is going to melt. If all of a sudden you drop, I'm just going to show you this, but I want you to remember that nobody is saying, yeah, you know what, I don't even want to show it because I'm afraid you guys are going to be like, oh, we're going to get 50 inches of snow. But this is part of why this thing needs to be watched so closely. Right here. Right there. It would just be a massive snowstorm, okay? For Baltimore and DC and Richmond and Philly and New York and Boston, just absolutely massive. Okay, that's the previous run though, because that one shows the out. Okay, hit, out. Okay, that's what we're watching. That's about it right there in a nutshell. So what I would say is, again, let me get the exact times according to the model right now. It would be where is it? There it is. All right, so it would be if it were to hit, it would start snowing probably sometime late Saturday, all Saturday night, Sunday, and then it's out probably, 7, 8 o'clock in the evening on Sunday, okay? So it's either going to be late Saturday through Sunday or Sunday into early Monday. Remember, these things, nothing's etched in stone yet. There's going to be wiggle room here. Okay, real quick for Florida, let me show you guys some of these temperatures. This is outrageous. So here's a look. I bet you guys who are watching from the Philadelphia area, you didn't realize just how cold it can get down here, especially when you're on the Panhandle, because what you have here is the Gulf Stream. It's a very warm river of water, okay? The water temperature is still in the mid to upper 70s here. So when you get this far south, all right, just the mere presence, how close that warm water is, the marine layer is going to keep you always warmer. But up here, you're nowhere near the Gulf, and you've got land winds. All right, so when that Arctic air comes down, nothing's warming it up. So it always is colder up here. Crestview might hit 19 degrees tonight. 37 in Pensacola. These are current. Pensacola might drop down to 20, 19 degrees tonight. Tallahassee might be 19 or 20. There's all kinds of extreme cold warnings up for this area. I forget where the citrus crop is. I think it's somewhere up in through here. And you're going to be talking about temperatures just plunging overnight. Watch this. This is wild. Look at all these. That's what we're potentially talking about. Teens over here, upper teens, like 18, 19, 20s in Jacksonville and Daytona Beach and the suburbs north of Orlando and Tampa. You start to pop like low 30s, and then 40s in Fort Myers, 50s in Miami. But down here, like in the Fort Myers and Vero Beach area, you got wind chills in the 30s. And then down here in West Palm and Miami, you've got wind chills in the 40s. So, I mean, it's some craziness. It really, really is. All right, I want to leave you guys with this, okay? And then what I'll do is I'll try to do what I do after I end this dungeon segment. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can. But watch this. That's Boston right now, according to the European model. There's Philadelphia. Remember, the orange is the high, the blue is the low. It's wickedly cold. Here's West Palm Beach. 51 for a high on Sunday with a low below freezing. Just so you guys know, I've been here for about 16 months already, so not a long time. But I've never seen it get even remotely close to that in West Palm Beach. That would be the first time I've ever seen it below freezing here in West Palm. Again, I've only been here 16 months, so, but still,
It's unusual.
it's unusual, right? Yeah, it's brutally cold for West Palm. And then let's do Chicago, which is ORD. Look at that. Look at the highs. 5, 13, 9, 6, 5, 17, 21, 29, 20. Chicago doesn't get back above freezing until February 5th. Oh my gosh. What about Philly? Let's do Philly, just out of curiosity, because I didn't look at that. Philly doesn't get back above freezing according to this model. Now, again, you're so far out here that these numbers could fluctuate. But according to the latest run, Philly doesn't get back above freezing until February 6th. That's insane.
Wow.
That's insane. Oh my gosh. And then again, my favorite vacation spot, Lake Placid, this time of the year. Look at the lows: -10, -8, -6, -17, -14, -12, -3. The lows don't get back above 0 until February 3rd, and then they go below 0 again. This is, and this includes me, right? After this winter is over with, I don't want to hear one snow lover ever complain again. And that includes me. That includes me, right? Because that's this is just wild. And I'm missing out on all this. You have no idea how jealous I am. I just want to bring Paigey home and go sledding. She loves sledding, you know what I mean? And enjoy like a 3 or 4 day weekend up there and just go sledding and enjoy the snow. And then I'll come back down here and I'll warm up. I was looking at flights. I might put in and see if I can get the days off, like Monday and Tuesday next week, and see if I can come up, because she would like that, and I would like to go, maybe even skiing one day up there in the Poconos, and then I'll have my snow fix and I'll be happy. She says, Jamie says, how about Connecticut? What's the 3-station identifier in Hartford?
That one I don't know.
Can you look it up real quick? Just go to the weather service and click on Hartford. You'll see the 3 letters. H. Let's see. You know what? I can do that. Hold on. I can do that here. I just realized I have the... All right. Let's try. I'm going to try Hartford, Connecticut for you. And let's see how cold that is. All right. The 3-letter station identifier for Hartford is HFD. Of course. Makes sense. HFD. You ready for this? Here's a look at your highs. 21, 18, 19, 18, 9 for Friday's high. 15. You've got lows 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row below 0. Now remember, these numbers might not hit exactly, but it gives you a good idea of what's heading your way. And then look at that. You might actually hit 33, 1 degree above freezing on the 2nd, and then bang, right back into the deep. Oh my gosh. Look at February 10th. This thing has you at 5 for the high. Wow. All right, so let me try and answer a couple. I see a lot of questions here. Let me try and answer. All right, for those of you that are just now tuning in, I'm done with the specifics here. I'll do this again tomorrow night at 7:30, and we'll see what the latest computer data has shown. What I'm going to do here is try and answer as many questions as I can in the next 5 minutes, and then I'll see you guys again tomorrow. Okay, just want to say thank you so much for tuning in. When you say Philly area, does that include the LV? Pat Redline, if you're listening to me right now, I'm not 100% sure what you mean. When you say Phil area, does that include the LV? Do you mean Lehigh Valley? Okay, if you mean Lehigh Valley, which is the only thing that I can think of at this point, let's do Allentown. All right, take care. I'll see you tomorrow. Here's Allentown. All right. So on Tuesday, the high will be 15, Wednesday 14, Thursday 12, Friday 9, Saturday 16, Sunday 23. All right, again, this is general ballpark. Maybe the high here on Friday, instead of it's 9, maybe it's 11. But you get the idea, okay? That's the overall. That's brutal. Oh, my gosh. Look at the lows here, -12 and -11. Could be overdone, but wow, that's brutal. Marianne says, frozen iguana alert. Yeah, those poor guys have had a hard winter. My husband wants to know, when was the last time it was this cold for this stretch of time in PA? Adriana, that's a good question. I'll have to give me some time. I'll look that up, and I'll see. Because are you talking about for Philadelphia? If you're still on and you're listening to me right now, let me know where you're talking about. Because if you're talking about Philly, that's actually a great question. I forecasted that area for 26 years, and this is a brutally cold stretch, long stretch too. Kendon says, we miss you, Chris. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Marianne says, freezing in Northeast Philly. Nicole says, you're getting the cold. Not take the next snowstorm. Been here since 2001 and never seen it that cold in Florida. That's what Beverly says. This is wild. It's wild to get that much cold. Do you know what the temperature in Sarasota, Florida will be on February 5th to the 8th? Aha, guess what? If you're still on, Kay, I can look that up for you right now. I just got to figure out where. You said Sarasota, right? Let's see. Look at me talking to you like you can actually respond to me like that. If you can hear me, say yeah. Let's see. Sarasota. There's Sarasota. All right, Sarasota, 3-letter station identifier, SRQ. Let me type that in, SRQ. Whew, wow. All right, so I hope this, all right, you said February 5th to the 8th. February 5th, 59, the 6th, 60, the 7th, 62, and the 8th, 63. Lows in the 40s and 50s. All right. That is Sarasota. That's crazy. That is crazy for Florida. Lynn says, can you provide another update later in the week? Lynn, I'll be doing this all week. Every day this week. And hi there in Maple Shade, by the way. Every day this week at 7:30, I'm going to be doing this, okay? My live dungeon segments are Monday through Friday, 7:30 in the evening. Sometimes, like I did this past weekend, I'll even do them on the weekend. Let's see. Will the storm be more like a blizzard? Carol, remember the 2 scenarios I showed you, okay? If this scenario pans out, there is the potential that blizzard conditions could be achieved. I'm not saying it will, but if this scenario pans out, the up the coast, the scenario, yes, there could be blizzard conditions, could be. And remember what a blizzard is. It's 3 straight hours of visibility of a 1/4 mile or less, sustained winds of 35 miles per hour or higher, and it's got to be snowing, okay? Or blowing snow. So yes, you could achieve blizzard conditions if this pans out, but that's a long ways away. Jim says, what happened to global warming, Chris? That's a good question. Let's see. What part of Florida are you in? I'm in West Palm Beach, Melissa. I'm on the southeast, extreme southeast side there. About, I guess we're about an hour and change north of Miami, an hour and 40 minutes, something like that. Chris, if the cold holds, the snow will certainly... Oh, yeah, Greg, the cold's holding. That snow ain't going anywhere. Tim says, Chris, thank you. I appreciate all you do for everyone. Thanks, Tim. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Pat said, we'd love to have you come here. Oh, Pat, I'd love to be up there playing in this. I mean, like I said, I'd love to get Paigey up there sledding. There's this hill that we used to go down in South Jersey, and I haven't been down it in a while. Dave Mullen says, my treat to Santini's when you're in town. Dave, you're on. I'm going to take you up on that. Santini's Pizza there in Sewell. Best pizza I've ever had, man, up there. It's awesome. Santini's is the name. Check them out. They're in Sewell. Will there be sleet and freezing rain with this storm for Delaware? No. Mary, this looks like it would be an all-snow event, okay, if it were to come up. Rose says you'll never get a flight. My friend has been in Dallas trying to get to Philly since Friday. I know, Rose, and that's what scares me, and that's why I almost don't even want to bother looking into this, because this is what I was saying. If you read the post that I made earlier today, they for 4 days in advance of the storm, they were rerouting flights and trying to book different flights, and it was a mess. And we still have friends down, well, I don't, but my sister-in-law still has friends down here right now, and they can't even get out of Fort Lauderdale. They're stuck here. And so, they can't get back home. So it's just a mess. And if this one pummels that area, and it's even worse than this last one, it's going to be a mess. Cheryl says, make a list. Check it twice. Milk, lunch meat, soup. No. Cheryl, no. If you're going to make a food list and a beverage list for a snowstorm, wine has got to be the number one. Wine. And then you need milk, eggs, and bread to do all your French toast stuff. What's another good thing that I like? I like all right, don't make fun of me. All right, but when we get a big snowstorm like this, for some reason I like to play Christmas music. It just puts me in a Christmas mood. So I would probably be playing Christmas music too, sitting by the fireplace, listening to the fireplace pop, maybe watching Home Alone or something like that, or Christmas Vacation. It just puts me in that Christmas mood. Then afterwards, I'd bundle everybody up and we'd drive out to the mountain or to the hill there, and we'd go sledding for a couple hours, and then we'd come back and we'd all warm up in front of the fireplace, and then we'd start, watching a movie again under a blanket. And that's the kind of stuff that I would like to do, at least for a weekend. And then I'll come back down here and sit on the beach. All right, I'm going to try and answer as many questions as I can. I'm going to go right now, that there's some work that I have to get done. Tune in tomorrow, 7:30. In the meantime, I'm going to make all kinds of posts here over the next 24 hours, potential updates and everything. But be back here 7:30, and we'll do this all over again. All right, live from the Sours Dungeon. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.